Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and happy Valentine's Day to all lovers out there. This is my first Valentine's Day as a husband, so I've got lots of nice, lovely cards. Probably look at that, how cute is that? Very British cup of tea. Fantastic. Now, my video today, I wanted it to be on the 9.14 test server, but god darn it, Wargaming, it hasn't been up all weekend. So it looks like I'm going to have to jump on there tomorrow and try and get some footage for you. Possibly tomorrow. Definitely Tuesday if the test server's up tomorrow, but I simply can't promise it. So in the meantime, I've got some footage on the Tier 6 Premium Czechoslovakian medium tank, the Skoda T40. I'm playing on Lakeville. This is a fairly alright matchup. We're halfway. Some Tier 5s on the enemy team, and a handful of Tier 7s at the top. Now the Skoda T40 was a very refreshing first Czechoslovakian tank. Well, actually, QuickyBaby, you know Czechoslovakian tanks have already been in the game before because of the 35 and the 38 in the German tech tree. Yes, I'm well aware of that. But this was the first tank that had the Czechoslovakian crew within the tech tree. And why I'm saying it's quite surprising that it was actually quite a good performer is before that we had, I think, the Type 3 Chinu-Kai, was it? Or something like that, the first Japanese tank. What Wargaming do is they always put in a vehicle from a new branch a patch before they're going to release the branch. And so I guess then what a lot of people like me do who are quite keen on the game is purchase the tank because it's a novelty and then start to play the tank lots and lots to train crews up for when the nation's branch is released. Now, before the Type 3 Chinu-Kai, I think it was, I'm probably completely wrong here, but I'm not going to correct myself. The first British tank in the game was the Matilda Black Prince. And frankly, both of those vehicles were completely underwhelming. And so the fact that Wargaming actually gave us quite a competitive tank with the Skoda T40 was a breath of fresh air. And it kind of goes back to thinking about the first Chinese tank in the game, which was the Type 59, would you believe it or not. Obviously now completely different. Nerfed to all hell, really, that tank. But still infamous and considered overpowered by lots of people, pretty much because of its premium matchmaking. So, I've situated myself in the center of Lakeville. I love to locate here, and I like to combine this tank with binoculars. That allowed us to spot the hell out of the AMX M445, who trundled along, and we were able to do 700 damage nearly to him, putting in 3 shots, and enabling our allies to put in a few hits into other vehicles as well. I feel like this central position at the moment on Lakeville is completely overpowered, and I believe that Wargaming are planning to nerf it in the next few patches. The amount of vision that you can extend along here is just incredible with all light tanks, medium tanks, and even tank destroyers with good view range. So from this position, you can spot everything along here, obviously. Then you can get a few shots along here, but then really there's this whole area that you see currently that you just won't be able to help your allies with. There are some key shots that you can have right here. Here's one you should look out for. Another one right over here you can shoot over the building. And then it's not until your opponents get to this location that you're going to be able to shoot them. Thankfully on this crew I have a full camouflage skill loadout, so that means that it's quite unlikely that the enemies are going to be able to spot me up until this point when they start to get within, you know, about that 350 meters that I'm quite worried. Now if I was to fire, they would be able to see me. So I stop, I aim at this KV-1S, take a little bit of a shot at him, and you've got to love the alpha damage on this. I think it's an 88mm. Yes, this 88mm. The alpha damage is 220. Considering the rate of fire is quite good, you can quickly pick apart your opponents. And when you're not having to shoot at the fronts of heavy tanks, you get nice side shots like this. The standard ammunition, which only has 132mm of penetration, is more than enough. Now this game isn't going very well at all. We completely lost the east. I'm not sure if that's down to me, maybe I should have been over there, but I felt like I've still had a pretty darn positive role playing from the center in a Tier 6 medium tank. We're up to nearly 2,300 damage. That is a fantastic game in the Skoda T40. I'm very happy with that. If I'm getting like about 1,500 in this tank, that's a great result. Now that Type 58, the best player on the enemy team, has decided that he wants to come in and get some experience. And that's something that I do quite often, rush around that corner. And as we can see, it never really goes very well. He was very confident there, probably frustrated that he hadn't been able to achieve anything by sitting in this location. Rushed in, and got shot down. 2 quick shots into him, 431 damage, and thankfully the Sturmil on my team puts in a big round, finishing him off before he's able to penetrate his third. There's something that this tank does not do very well, and that is take hits. Its armor is flimsy, and it doesn't have that many hit points, only 700. Cromwell Berlin, I believe, has 750 hit points. This thing, yeah, it just gets one shot really by 150mm guns like the ISU 152 or on the Borsig. And some tier 7 guns with, when you start to get 320 alpha damage, that's really disastrous to hit this tank. So I'm trying to stop this Tiger from entering the base. I miss a couple of shots, bad aim there. But now I decide to reverse. This position is super strong to defend from. I've been having great success in this position at defending against people trying to push around this corner. Tiger doesn't quite see us. Oh, lovely shot right into the side of his tank, allowing the Sturmil to finish him off. Now we've got 2 T34s, and all I really want to do right now is to hold on. There could be a Jagdpanther coming around. I don't want to go and play aggressively against them, because it's quite likely the Jagdpanther is sitting here, and the artillery are going to be supporting him. Oh, I find the back of that T34. He has now got not many hit points, and Churchill on my team, who's also a very skilled player, manages to shut down an enemy Skoda T40. And look at this, the artillery just whizzed a shell right over my head. Okay, that's just how balanced the FV304 is with its shell trajectory, hey? He's going to be able to loop shells over the ridgeline into those tanks. He finishes off the T34. Let's see if he's going to be able to finish off the next one. He's literally shooting over this rock. Hold on. He is shooting over this rock into the enemy T34. How utterly ridiculous was that? Firing over my head and taking out those 2 tier 5 Soviet medium tanks. And the Jagdpanther appears. Oh, goodness gracious, can we penetrate him? Only 134mm of pen. That's enough to go right through the lower plate, and we don't even have to load a single premium round to do 3,255 damage. A great roll for the team here. I was really happy with the rolling retreat that I showed. So, what I really want to highlight in this is that medium tanks do exceptionally well currently in this location. If you spawn on the other side, you can advance all the way to along here. This is very important. Advance along here, and then you can get vision all the way along here to spot your opponents and get easy shots in at the beginning. If you're a light tank, by the way, don't be a sucker. Make sure you go into this bush. This is the front bush. This is the back bush. Ooh, don't tell the vicar about that. Valentine's Day and all that. Let's get back to it. But basically from this bush in your light tanks, you can spot deep all the way along here, which is just absolutely fantastic. The worst thing that you can do in a light tank is to stop in this bush. This is too early. This is the correct bush to stop in, but make sure you get into it quickly. Otherwise, enemy light tanks along here are going to be able to spot you. So I noticed that the FV304 went through the valley, and I'm expecting the enemy artillery to be hiding behind here. The FV304 doesn't spot him, and so that probably means that the artillery is going to be located towards the east. I enter the cap circle, I set up shop, and I wait it out while the FV304 goes to find him. Now, I don't really want to chase around an artillery for another few minutes. So I'm thinking, what the hell? He's actually behind me. We fire one blind at him. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Of course, buddy, of course. You went over a ridge line and pretty much probably auto-aimed at me, and you hit me. Well, that's pretty darn lucky, but good hit in there. The FV304 is laughing his ass off in chat as they get into position to be able to finish off that dastardly Hummel and take down a rather nice win for the team when things were looking rather grave indeed. One thing that I just noticed is if we make the minimap bigger, we can see where everyone died during this battle. So we lost a hell of a lot of tanks in the valley for absolutely no gain. We invested no tanks up into the Abbey, but I guess that's just because we were lacking heavies, or maybe it was the heavies that went through the valley that got themselves killed. And so what really happened this battle is we set up a very effective defense. This location is very strong, quickly shutting down opponents that made the mistake of going through this lower area. This is a disaster to go through. You always want to go around the back and use these bushes and this ridgeline as cover to engage anyone that's camping up here where I am. And there's some nice teamwork with the FV304 on my team, whose name is Lisek01. We shut down a Tiger, 2 T34s that must have taken down these 5 tanks in the valley, because I believe that is another icon behind that before you say, oh my god, QuickyBaby can't count. So all in all, a great game on Lakeville right up until the end. I expect what the Hummel had done is he must have been going round here and about to come into our base. And we all just decided to go along here, and then the Hummel must have come around back and then caught me. I did not expect that. And hopefully you guys picked up a few tips about different firing lines on Lakeville and positions for your medium tanks, tank destroyers, and light tanks that don't really want to go and grind it out with the heavies in the town or get shot at all the time by artillery in the valley. So a tasty result here. We picked up a high caliber in a Confederate game. Only 1 kill for the 3,500 damage we did at low tiers. I guess we were helping out Ricky Boy and Lisek finish off their targets. We also managed to do 1,000 damage upon detecting, which gives us a rather meaty experience total of 5,387 for our double. You do get a huge bonus for playing low tier premium tanks, and also 84,000 credits profit as we didn't need to fire any premium rounds this game. And to top it all off, we were even rewarded with our first mark of excellence in our Skoda T40. Yay! I don't really play this tank enough, but the games that I do play in it, I really do enjoy it. It's the first new tank in a tech tree that I have enjoyed since the Type 59. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see more details of the first Czechoslovakian premium tank in the game, then simply click through up here or use that more info icon in the top right hand corner of your screen to find out everything that you need to know about the Skoda T40. And again, sorry no footage on the 914 test server. I'm going to jump on there as quickly as possible and get it for you this week. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.